Hello, and welcome to this demonstration of Pure1 integration with the Veeam Incident API. Before I get started, I wanted to let you know that you can find more information by clicking on the link in the upper right-hand corner of this video. That'll take you to veeam.com, where I have recently written a blog about this. What I'd like to do is first talk about what Pure1 detects, which are storage anomalies, then go through the architecture of that quickly, then jump in and look at what this looks like in the user interface. The full name of this workflow is the Pure1 Veeam Anomaly Awareness Workflow, and Pure1 can detect storage anomalies. And these anomalies are very complementary to the anomalies that Veeam 1 can detect. For example, I'm not going to read through these, but I'll showcase the data reduction anomaly. If you've got a 4-to-1 data reduction on your data store volume on your flash array, and all of a sudden that drops to 1-to-1, let's say, that could be indicative of a ransomware encryption event. So that will fire the anomaly, and we'll see coming up here the architecture, and then we'll walk through the steps of the workflow. The key architectural components are first the cloud-based Pure1 service, which has that workflow automation engine. There is a Pure1 workflow agent that gets installed in the data center. I've got one in my lab. We'll take a look at that. It communicates with vSphere and with the Veeam Incident API. If we walk through the steps in the workflow, a data reduction rate drop occurs. Let's say that's the anomaly. It then tells the agent to gather information from vSphere to identify the impacted virtual machines. It sends Veeam Incident API calls for all impacted virtual machines, and Veeam will mark all of the restore points from the time of the anomaly forward as suspicious. So if we jump to the user interface, here we see we're looking at the fleet view of our EverPure arrays. I've got both flash arrays and flash blades. This one at the bottom here, Veeam Pure ALP1, will be the one we'll use for our demonstration purposes. On the left side, the navigation panel, I'll select workflows, assets, and projects. And we see we've got a project here with a Veeam Anomaly Awareness Workflow. I'll select that. And I want to first talk about the connections, which I mentioned. There's a connection to vCenter, gather the information about the virtual machines. There's a connection to Veeam Backup and Replication to integrate with the Incident API. And optionally, you can have a ServiceNow connection to automate records being created in ServiceNow. And of course, we've got the connection with Pure1 so that the agent on-prem can talk to the cloud-based Pure1 service. The workflow itself is referred to as a recipe. A trigger occurs, in my example, a drop in data reduction rate. Then the workflow communicates with vCenter to map data stores to the flash array volumes and to gather unique identifiers like UUID for all of the impacted virtual machines. It then sends a Veeam Incident API call for each of those virtual machines. And then there's some error handling at the end. Also the optional ServiceNow records being created. So the next question is, what does that look like in Veeam Backup and Replication? And I'll start here on the History tab. we'll look at malware events. And here I see that I've got a virtual machine. I've got lots of events, as you can see. I've got a virtual machine. That's VEM. There was an event created. That's when the incident API occurred. Incident API call occurred. The activity date is when the anomaly occurred. The event type is external, came from Pure1, and we're using a limited role, the API operator role, to communicate to the Veeam Incident API. And the status is suspicious because we don't know if it's infected. We just know something suspicious has occurred. And in this case, this is a different example. I've got a spike in read IOPS. So again, something that should be looked into, but not something you can say is an infection. It tells us what the anomaly is, when it occurred, what the data store is, what the volume is on the flash array, what flash array it is, and it tells me where I can go to get more information. So that's the anomaly coming into Veeam through the Incident API. What does that look like when I want to maybe do a recovery of something from one of those virtual machine backups? So I've got a number of backups. We're going to take a look at this Linux backup, but we're not looking at the job. We're looking at the restore points for the job runs. And here's that Linux backup. And you can see my Ubuntu VM. And if we quickly take a look at the restore points using the instant disk recovery capability, you can see that the most recent 2 restore points are showing as suspicious. The previous ones are showing as clean. So I may want to go in and investigate what's going on here, but most certainly, if I need to recover anything from these suspicious restore points, I would want to make sure that I take full advantage of Veeam Backup and Replication Secure Restore capability, which has the Threat Hunter malware scanning to do that deep scanning. I hope you found this demonstration useful. Again, I want to mention not to forget that if you want more information, click the link in the upper right-hand corner. Thank you.